Moving right out, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Nelsonn Woon. Nelson's topic today will be on the new paradigms and challenges in leasing. So over to you, Nelsonn.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Craig, Farrell, Michael, for inviting me. Okay, so let me share the first page of the slide. Okay, so basically you can see here there are two articles, one dated April 2020 and the other June 2020. So we can come to a conclusion that we are in a very challenging environment or a challenging market. There are oversupply of commercial properties, which means that retailers will have plenty of choices, and commercial properties landlord is having great difficulties leasing out their retail units. Okay, so if you go to the slide number 2, thus resulting in massive challenges in regards to leasing. So as we are aware, a lot of developers are facing challenges throughout Malaysia or maybe in the world as well. The common question that they always ask will be, number one, how to achieve a high occupancy rate. The other one will be, how do we attract retailers to open their outlet at our center rather than next door or the competitor. And then the other common question it will be, how can we increase the footfalls or visitors? So even for existing or new commercial center. So in order to overcome these difficulties, first of all, we have to do our homework. That means our groundwork study. Usually this is what I would do. For step 1, I would do a basic research or demographic study. Reason being, we need statistic in order to support and give us a guidance on how we can create the right program for the commercial center. All right, the right concept. It's not that what we prefer to have. It is what the market or what does your surrounding require. That means that we come to point number 2, evaluate the surroundings. So what this means is that you have to find out in terms of your project site within like 10, 20 or 30 kilometer radius. You have to see what are there any residentials, offices, colleges, education centers, even like hospitals, are they walking distance to your project site or your commercial center, or how far are they? So once you have this will give you an idea like who will frequent your commercial center more often. I mean, right? Is it on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or monthly basis? With the data and then correct evaluation of the surroundings, and then you can identify your target market, whether it is children, teenagers, young professionals, family, or retiree. So in order for me to get a better understanding, I will use the age group as a breakdown. This will give me a better picture. Okay, what I would do is that I will categorize the age group in regards to below 12, below 18 years old, 18 to 30, 30 to 45. From this age group, you can actually find out the most representation within your commercial center. Who are the potential clientele or potential visitors within 10, 20 or 30 km radius from your commercial center. Then we have to find out what is their preference, what is their needs, what is their interest. These are important questions that we have to ask ourselves. Basically, you have to identify what is available currently in the market nearby the project site, and also what is not available for those particular age group that have high representation. The aim here is that we need to bridge the gap, all right, if let's say within your commercial center you have a high population of kids below 12 years old, then you have to think of something that is more suitable for that particular age group. Because if you can excite them to come over to a commercial center, the parents will come together with them, so you get higher traffic flow. You see? Then number 6 would be you have to create a positioning of the commercial center. This is very important for me. This is one of the key steps, which means it's a storyline. So the storyline means that what is the key theme for a commercial center, whether you want to do education team, entertainment team, maybe a digital team. So it is based on what is the major representation of this population around your area. Then we create the positioning accordingly. Yeah, but in other words, a successful commercial center, you have to create something which is unique, something which is sexy and exciting, that will attract the retailers to open their outlets here, as well as the shoppers to come, right? Number 7 will be the tenancy mix. Okay, regardless of whether you are the shop lot, whether you are community mall or neighborhood mall, you will need to find the right tenancy mix, which means that you need to find retailers that complements each other. It's basically like a teamwork. So if you find the right retailers or you find the right mix, then the chances of your commercial center success will be much higher. It's similar to a football team. You have 11 players playing together. If 11 of them can gel together, and support each other, and usually the team will win. For example, Liverpool, lately they have been winning a lot of trophies because they find the right blend, the right team players, right? So basically, tenancy mix is also similar to like a football team. You have to find retailers that can complement each other and support each other well, right? Perhaps the most important element to me is number 8, which is the execution, because the success and failure of bringing in the retailers usually depends on the executor. All right, so the executor is actually is very important because in other words, if you find the right partner, if the developers manage to find the right team to execute the program, then your chances of survival will be or sustainability of a commercial center will be much higher, right? So these are basically the steps that I would use in order to come up with the right program for the right commercial center, regardless of your commercial center, whether you are in whichever part of Malaysia. But the process or the flow is usually the same, right? Moving forward, the next topic will be on the new paradigms. In short, to develop a successful commercial center, you will need to have the below attributes. All right. Number 1 is creativity. Basically, creativity means new concepts, first of its kind. Create something which is not available in your vicinity. All right. Second will be innovation. Innovation means you have to think out of the box. Uniqueness, multiple attractions. Right. Basically, the goal here is to create a destination. All right. Like there's a phrase here which we usually use: when there's honey, there's always bee hovering around. So we have to identify which retailers is the honey. So so that means we have to get the right retailers to anchor the commercial center. Okay. The next slide. Okay. From my experience, I'm going to share with you some of the retail categories that is to me is essential, moving forwards, because we need this type of retailers to support us. All right. The first one will be lifestyle F&B. All right. It can be either a team restaurant or thematic cafe. Because these days, that social media plays a very important role in our lives. Even all generations, whether young or old, actually, they are quite well versed with social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook. They usually share their daily activities, even their weekly activities. Where do they chill? Where do they hang out with their friends? Which are the cool cafes? Which have the great ambience, delicious food? So basically, I call them, brand ambassadors. Actually, these people are the one that actually really promote your commercial center, as well as promote the retail outlets. So you can get additional mileage if you get the right F&B retailer in the right concept. Actually, these brand ambassadors really help you a lot in terms of bringing in the foot traffic. For example, like in PJ lately, we usually hang out in SS2, the hub. They have a variety of cool cafes together, all in one commercial center. If you go there lunchtime or tea time, you can see that there's a huge crowd. The hub in SS2. And then some of the examples that you have, like Bangkok, you have the Luka Cafe, LUKA, Bangkok. They have cool ambience, great coffee, and then you have a Ministry of Crab in Bangkok. It's a team restaurant that specializes in crab. All right. You have Charlie Brown Cafe in Singapore. It's a team cafe based on the cartoon character Charlie Brown. In certain locations, you can also consider like doing up a cat cafe, for example. The whole idea is to create something that is what we call Instagrammable. A concept that is cool enough that people share among their friends and want to visit you. All right. And then another concept is that after the MCO, we can see this so-called cloud kitchen or ghost kitchen starting to mushroom. Basically, this concept is they have a few brands, a few brands, different variety of food, but they share one kitchen. So actually, it saves on the rental, it saves on the space, it saves on the staff cost. So you will come across a lot of this ghost kitchen or cloud kitchen pretty soon. One of the new one is in the Curve. All right. Okay. Second would be grocery. Okay, grocery is actually, during MCO, grocery are categorized as essentials. That means a commercial center must have, because grocery has the ability to draw in daily traffic. Because our goal here is to draw in traffic to your commercial center, whether it is a new center or existing center. So, so the whole idea is we have to find the right concept to draw in more traffic to your commercial center. And the next one is a concept that maybe some of the developers can consider. This concept I'll call it the creative entrepreneurs platform. All right. Basically, the whole idea here is that you get a group or cluster of young entrepreneurs or creative entrepreneurs, maybe 20 or 30 of them, into one platform. All right. These entrepreneurs, usually they are very creative. They sell very unique products, and usually the price of the products are very reasonable. And especially ladies shoppers, they tend to visit places where there's a lot of varieties of choices. All right. So even if you are in Johor Bahru, or even if you are in Kedah or Kuantan, even KK, you can consider creating a platform like this. A small. The lot sizes is very small, but the advantage is that when you group a cluster of them, for example, 20 or 30 of them, then you will get a lot of synergy and a lot of strength from them. And then the other component will be, I will call it entertainment. So entertainment is something that you cannot create at home, but in a commercial center, it is possible. Depending on the sizes of your commercial center, we can create accordingly. So entertainment, we will have the potential to create something unique, because something that is first of its kind in your surrounding. The whole idea is to create something that is non-existent. This will create the hype and the excitement, and then people will definitely want to come and check you out. As you are aware that we are into digitalization era, the trends are moving towards high-tech VR. AR is augmented reality, VR is virtual reality. It is the current trend, and it will be more relevant in the future, because the advantages is that the attractions or content in a VR, actually you can refresh yearly. So this will encourage repeat customers. That means you're not staying stagnant for a few years. So, and then it's good for team building. Kids and adults can actually enjoy, even like family, they come together to enjoy this the games in the VR park. You can also organize competition. For example, esports, which is currently the trend. So esports with attractive prizes. This will actually create a lot of hypes among the younger generations. And as you know, if 2 or 3 of them come, then the rest of the friends will come. So you actually get a big group of them to come. So some of the examples currently in terms of VR will be Genting VR. Then you have the Legoland VR. You have the Rift at Mid Valley. There's another new one coming out year end at Langkawi. In Bangkok, you have the Total VR Arcade, and then you have the Line Village in Bangkok as well. Okay, and the other type of entertainment that you can consider to create will be we call it tourist walkthrough attractions. Because these tourist walkthrough attractions, actually you have a high capacity to create mass arrivals. You can actually tie up with the local tour operators, the tour agents, education centers, to bring in more foot traffic to your commercial center. For example, Aquaria KLCC, Entopia in Penang, Singapore Science Center, So actually you can bring a lot of traffic to your commercial center if you have the right entertainment program. If your commercial center is bigger in size, you can actually consider doing an indoor water park, or we call a splash park. All right. So a splash park is actually smaller in size as compared to a real water park, but the indoor water park actually it overcome sun and rain. All right. So in short, in conclusion, moving forward, in order to ensure sustainability of your commercial center, to me, 2 key things. Number 1 will be you have to create an interesting storyline to your commercial center, something unique, something sexy, And number 2 is always it's important to find the right partners to execute the program. So that's my sharing, guys.
Thank
Thanks.
you.